Hey, it's Kay. This is my cat's tail. He is in the shot right away. Oh my gosh. Yes. Long time no talk. That is because my husband and I have a baby in the house now. So that's what's been keeping us busy. Our daughter is actually a little over 4 months old now. So it's been a while. But I wanted to upload, before I completely forget, I wanted to chat about my birth story and how everything went, so that I don't forget, but also so that I can share it. And in the meantime, I'm going to be sharing a few things out of our daughter's memory box that I've started for her. It's almost full already, and I know I'm gonna end up saving more things for her as she gets older, so I'm gonna have to get a bigger box. I also have her scrapbook that I started for her. I won't show her face, but it's got her little footprints on it. So yeah, I'm gonna go through some stuff and just reminisce, go over what happened. So I can't even remember what I had said the last time that I filmed a pregnancy update. I know I was in the 3rd trimester, and I think I had mentioned maybe that I was going to have a scheduled C-section. I did end up having a scheduled C-section, which honestly I believe was the best thing for me personally. I was terrified about the prospect of giving vaginal birth. I know some women feel so empowered about it and ready to go for it, even unmedicated or even with an epidural. Either way, I was like, I just don't think I can do it. So the scheduled C-section, I really do think ended up being the right thing for me, my body, just long-term effects and stuff. I'm happy with it having happened that way. But anyways, my doctor's office would not schedule a C-section before 39 weeks, so they ended up calling me, and they had picked the day that I would be 39 weeks and 1 day. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I was ready to have my baby and get her out of me and everything. So I was honestly a little perturbed that I had to wait 39 weeks in the first place. And when I heard it was going to be the day after I turned 39 weeks, I was like, oh, but I made it. I actually ended up, the last couple weeks of my pregnancy, I was bouncing on the pregnancy ball and walking, curb walking. My husband and I also tried some natural what's it called, stimulation for my cervix to try to see if we could induce labor early, because I was so over it. But nothing worked. She was going nowhere, and I was like, okay, if I didn't have this scheduled C-section coming up, she would be snug as a bug until I was 41 weeks probably, and I would be miserable, because towards the end there, I really was stereotypical waddling around, having to pee every 20 minutes, and it would just be the smallest amount of pee, but it was every 20 minutes I felt like I was going to explode. Oh, it was awful. And she had definitely dropped the last month of my pregnancy. I think she had definitely dropped, and that's what was causing me to feel like I had to pee so often. It was so heavy, and I could just feel the weight on my cervix all the time. I was like, I have got to get her out. And I couldn't sleep at all at night, which if you watched my pregnancy updates, I wasn't sleeping anyways, but it was just getting worse. I was getting such horrible restless legs at night. I had bought special magnesium lotion to rub on my legs to try to help the restless legs, and I was taking magnesium pills to try to relax my muscles at night on top of my sleep medicine and everything. It was just yeah. So, the end of my pregnancy was honestly miserable. I was trying so hard to induce labor early, because they had told me, with my scheduled C-section, they were like, if you go into labor early, we'll just do your C-section early. You'll come in, they'll make sure that, delivery is not imminent, Like the baby's not like right there coming out, and they'll do the C-section early. So I was like, can we please? Especially because shortly before the scheduled date that I have was October 31st, which was Halloween. And I personally thought that would have been really cool if she was a Halloween baby. Let me know down below if you have a birthday that's a holiday. I'd really like to know if you like that it's on a holiday, or if you hate it and you feel like you have to share your birthday with another day that's already special. Or if your birthday is not on a holiday, do you think that would be cool if it was on a holiday? I personally do, especially Halloween. That's like my favorite holiday. So anyways, ended up making it all the way to 39 weeks in one day. And also the operation they had scheduled for, we had to be at the hospital at 4:30 in the morning, and they actually called me, no, 5:30 in the morning. And so we had to wake up at 4:30, and they actually called me like a week beforehand, and they're like, just making sure you're gonna be there at 5:15. And I was like, I was told 5:30, and they're like, yeah, but get here at 5:15 so you like do the paperwork and whatever. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not a morning person, and my sleep was already horrible being so pregnant, so, but yeah. I have all of the cards that I received for me and baby during my pregnancy in this box, including this one that I bought to give to my husband when I found out I was pregnant, which is actually from my first ever positive pregnancy test, which if you've followed my previous videos, you'll know that I didn't end up staying pregnant from that, but I do still have the card. We used it in our announcement with my daughter, so yeah, it's still sweet to me. So anyways, like I said, we ended up making it all the way up until, and we woke up at 4:30 that morning, and I was like, okay, she's not budging, let's go to the hospital. So we got there. I really appreciated, honestly, first of all, the fact that it was scheduled, and second of all, that it was so early in the morning, because there was nobody else there. There was nobody else there. We went to check in. We got checked in like that. And I'm a nurse, so I know that nurses start their shifts usually at 7 in the morning. So we got there at 5:15, checked in with the receptionist, showed us to our room. By then it was like 5:30, and I had one nurse come in and basically give me some instructions and put an IV in my hand. More on that later if I remember. She put an IV in my wrist, actually, in my wrist, and had said that they were going to start me on fluids, because they always do that for C-sections, just so that the patient's nice and hydrated. And then she said that there was going to be another nurse once I went into surgery and completed surgery, because she was leaving for the day. So all my nurses were in really good moods, because it was like the end of the shift and the beginning of the shift, and I personally know those are the times that I'm in the best mood. So it was nice. All of the nurses that we had during our stay were very nice. So that was good. I personally was trying to be like the least difficult patient ever, because I know that sometimes patients can be difficult. So other thing I wanted to show, these are actually all wishes from a wish tree that my mother-in-law put up at the baby shower that she threw for me, and all of our family members and friends wrote little wishes on these cards for the baby and us, and just well wishes. So that was really sweet. These are our dad to be and mom to be pins from my mom's baby shower. That was fun. So yeah, got the IV in, put on the hospital gown. I had thought about ordering a special gown to bring to the hospital that would be my own gown, so that I wouldn't have to wear the hospital gown. But honestly, I figured it would be like a waste of money, because the hospital gowns are perfectly fine. I know they are. I put them on patients all day, every day. And, you're there to be like comfortable and get to know your baby those first few days. It's not about looking cute or having special outfits for the occasion. Honestly, the entire time I was in the hospital, I wore pajamas and it was great. But so they put the IV in my arm. I don't think they asked me for a urine sample or anything like that. They did put the strap monitors, 2 of them on my stomach, to listen to baby's heartbeat, which was cool. So got to listen to her. And Winston and I just had like an emotional moment in the room. I started crying because I was like, she's coming. Like, this is the day we get to meet our daughter. And surgery was scheduled for 7 o'clock or maybe 7:30. So we just had time to settle into the room, get ready. They had given Winston some scrubs to put on for, in the OR, and then some shoe covers and a hairnet and all that stuff. So we were just getting ready for that, and like right on time, either at 7 or 7:30. It must have been 7 because of the time I know she was born at. They were like, okay, we're gonna go. And they explained everything to me. They were really good at explaining everything to me. They said, we're going to take you in there. It's going to be just you, which I didn't know because I've seen like vlogs and I've heard experiences where when mothers are getting their epidurals, they're able to like hold their husbands when they get their epidurals and have them there for support. But they explained it to me. They said, we're going to take you into the OR. It's going to be just you. And we're going to do your spinal, and then right after we do your spinal, we're going to lay you down, and that's when we're going to put in your catheter. Because of the spinal that I got, everything was completely numb from chest level down, so I had to have a catheter to drain urine because there was no way. I was, incontinent at that point. And when they told me that my husband wasn't going to be in there, that's when I started to freak out because I thought he was going to be there, and I depend on him a lot. He's my rock. I depend on him for support a lot. So I was like, oh no. And like I said, I was trying to be a really like calm, compliant patient. So I was like, okay, like I'll try my hardest to like hold still, because they said it's really important that you hold still when you get the spinal so that, the anesthetician can get the anesthesiologist, can get the needle right in between your vertebrae. So they took me into the OR, and Winston had to wait outside, and I was really scared. They like had me hunch over and put the spine on my back, and what they actually did was they did 4 numbing shots around where the insertion site was going to be before the actual spinal went in. So as soon as they put the first needle in my back to numb the spot, I immediately started like bawling. It just pinched a little bit. It's just like when you're getting a filling at the dentist and they have to put the numbing needle in your gums. It's a pinch. It hurts. It's like, it stings. But it wasn't terrible, but I was just so scared and hormonal and wound up, and my husband wasn't there, so I started bawling. And they were like, honey, you need to hold still. And the nurse started like holding my hand and like rubbing my shoulder and like talking in my ear. She was like, it's okay, we're almost done. You just need to breathe and try to hold still. And my whole body is shaking with sobs. And I'm like, okay, I'll try to hold still. I felt so bad for the staff. And the anesthesiologist did such a good job, even though I was like sobbing. He got that spinal in quick. Like it took like literally 30 seconds, which is so good because I was freaked out, and they immediately laid me back. They had me like arms out on 2 different like wings of the table that I was laying on. So I had my IV over here, and then my other arm over here, and they said my husband was going to come to my left side, and they put my catheter in, couldn't feel that at all, of course, at that point. And the spinal basically immediately just felt like what they said it would, which is like warm tingles all down my body, chest down. Yeah, that was fine. Once it was in, it didn't bother me. Just really numb. They were like, we're going to move your legs for you. Don't help us move your legs or anything. So yeah, it didn't bother me at all. Couldn't feel the catheter go in or anything. And then Winston was able to come in like 2 minutes after the catheter went in, which was good. As soon as he came in the room, I immediately felt better. I was like, "You're here!" um, and then we were just like sitting there, excited, like, "Okay, she's coming." Um, they actually, I had asked beforehand if I could play music in the OR, and I don't know if they would have had another option for like music to be played out loud, but I ended up just playing music off of my own phone from my own Spotify playlist that I had made of songs that I thought would be nice to listen to during my birth. So, yeah, Winston started up my Spotify playlist for me and put my phone up against my right ear, and then he was sitting on my left side. Because it's music that I like, which I kind of like indie folk type of music. And Winston's not really into that. So I was like, yeah, this music will just mostly be for me to keep me calm. So he started that up for me, and he was just there holding my hand, and we were just, getting excited and everything. Of course, they had the drape up in front of my chest so we couldn't see anything that was going on. It only took it must have been only like 5-10 minutes to get my daughter out, which is why I'm not sure what time we started everything at 7 or 7:30, because I want to say 7:30 because she was born at 7:40. So it was very quick from when they got started, whenever it was. But she was born at 7:40, and once they had her out, they actually pulled the back of the drape down that was an opaque blue drape, and behind that was a clear screen so they could hold her up and we could see her. And she came out and she immediately started crying, and I started crying, and I'm pretty sure Winston started crying. But there she was, and the song that she was born to was Ceilings by Local Natives, which is now one of my favorite songs. It's a beautiful song, the tune of it and everything, so it was really sweet that that's what she got born to. So I actually have in here the first hat that they put on her, which they don't have hats with bows on them at my hospital, so the nurse made a hat with a bow. She took 2 hats and cut a hole in the bottom hat and stuck one hat in the front of it and made her a girly hat. So that was her hat. And they cleaned her off and brought her over to us. She was 6 pounds and 3 ounces when she was born. She was little. I was half expecting her to be so big because I was all belly and huge at the end of my pregnancy. But she was little, 6 pounds, 3 ounces. I have this picture. This is the last bump picture I ever took in the bathroom mirror. Yeah, and then I have her bracelets and stuff, but these are her handprints. We made those at home. They did do footprints for her birth certificate in the hospital, but yeah. I think I can show you this picture because I don't think her face is in it, but this was us right after the C-section. You're holding her for the first time. So yeah, it was great. It honestly went so smoothly, up to the point of getting her out. Like I said, I feel like it being scheduled was just the best thing for us and our family. I'm so glad that everything happened that way. And her coming into the world went smoothly, quickly, and yeah, it was just lovely to that point. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about after she was born in another video because I'm almost at 20 minutes for this video, so stay tuned to hear about postpartum. But thank you for listening if you have, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye!